I'm sorry, kiddo, I really am. You have a good soul. And I hate giving good people bad news.
I'm not Ryan O'Neal. He's not Bruce Dern, but we did watch 1978's The Driver.
Some of the criminal types these days, they think that they're real cowboys.
You work for a piece, right?
10,000 up front.
How do we know you're that good?
Get in.
You're crazy. Is that him?
It wasn't him. Did you ever get caught on one of your jobs?
Hasn't happened yet.
Obviously, there's Bruce Dern. Obviously, there is Ryan O'Neal, which
There's
we
Ryan O'Neal.
both fell in love with when we watched Paper Moon.
Yeah. There's Isabella
Johnny.
Thank you. The nice lady from Possession.
Yes, which we also
Yes.
reviewed. So this is like the culmination of all of our reviewing efforts, all in one.
Yeah. Except for it's the first time we have Bruce Dern in a movie that I remember.
Yeah.
That I remember.
That's a bold statement because we're over 300 reviews now. So.
Well, that's why I said that I remember.
So-
maybe he's popped in there. I don't know. But as far as I remember, this is the first time we have Bruce Dern in here.
So you want to sum the plot up in 2 minutes or less?
Sure. So we have Bruce Dern, who's the detective, who is going to do whatever it takes. I mean, whatever it takes to catch Ryan O'Neal, who he calls the cowboy.
Yes.
Some of the criminal types these days, they think that they're real cowboys. I respect a man that's good at what he does. I'll tell you something else. I'm very good at what I do. Now, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna catch the cowboy that's never been caught.
Yes.
Because he has never been caught, and really, it's shenanigans from the word go.
You're not wrong about that one.
Yeah. I mean, because it starts off with a heist.
Yes. Yes.
That the player who is Isabella.
Yeah.
What the hell's the last name
Isabella
again?
Johnny.
Johnny. Yeah. Like the Johnny Dagger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And my dear cousin Noomsy.
Noomsy.
So.
You've no idea who I am, have you?
Yes, you're Sado Noopsy.
Yeah. So she witnesses the crime. Bruce Dern person in the lineup, and she's like, "Nah, that's not him."
It wasn't him.
You sure?
Yeah.
This film was critically panned, like universally, pretty much. Reviews were few and far between, so nobody saw this film, at least not here in the United States. But that being said, I'm kind of staggered at how influential this film has turned out to be over the years, because the whole intro scene to this is like straight out of The Transporter. It's literally Ryan O'Neal, and he's in the car and he's waiting for the robbers that are ripping off the card game or the casino, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then when they come piling out into the car, there is this really elaborate and beautifully shot, at night no less, car chase, and that's a technical achievement in and of itself, because it's hard enough to shoot a car chase. Now let's do it at night, and let's still make it to where the audience can follow what the hell is going on and not have it turn into a shadowy, murky mess of taillights and headlights.
Yeah.
So,
and it's some good driving too. I mean, granted, by today's standards, it's super tame. But you gotta remember, back in 1970, whatever, These are land yachts that are like 20 plus feet long on bias ply tires, okay? You try driving those motherfuckers. There's no ABS, there's none of that shit, you know? So it's hard to do that. And then do it convincingly on top of that. And you can actually see some of the action, unlike if you watched our review of The Rock, where it's all chopped up. And
shaky cam.
Yeah, and shaky cam. And there's no shaky cam. But there is some cool camera views and angles.
Yes.
Like there's some like from the dash shots, or really from like the hood shots.
Yeah.
Of them driving around. Good shots of the driver, Ryan O'Neal, and just from like the street views and stuff like that. It's really, really well done.
And keep in mind this is not cars with four-wheel drive,
Yeah.
with all-wheel drive,
Yeah.
the solid rear axles.
Yes. Again, land yachts.
Yeah.
These are not meant to go around corners fast. They were meant to cruise.
Yes.
At 55 miles an hour down the highway.
Hell, they're not even sports cars or muscle cars.
No.
So, I mean, they're four-door sedans, the kind that you would pack your entire family and all your luggage into and then still have room for a dog. So that in and of itself is kind of amazing. The other thing is that this movie it's very stylized.
Yes.
It is very like Ryan O'Neal's character, who's just literally referred to as the driver or the cowboy.
Mm-hmm.
His name is never mentioned throughout the entire.
Nobody's
runtime of
names
the
are
film.
mentioned. Like if you look in the credits, it's the detective, the driver, the player, the connection, mask, green mask, blue mask. Yeah, nobody has a name.
Robber number one.
Yes.
But I kind of dig that because at the end of the day, this is most definitely. There's substance here, but this is all about doing a stylized film. This is like trying to do something different with a genre that had gotten tired. Because really, after Bullet, everybody was like, "Oh, we got to do a movie like Bullet," and Walter Hill was all like, "No, we don't. Let me sit. I got this." So and
you're right. It's kind of like that movie distilled down to this bare fucking essence.
absolutely. So you have all these great car chase scenes, and I think there's like 4 or 5. Throughout the course of the film?
There's the beginning one. There's the one where he demonstrates how good of a driver he is.
With the Mercedes.
Yeah, with the Mercedes. That in itself is worth the price of entry for this.
Yes.
How do we know you're that good?
Get in.
Enough of this shit! For Christ's sakes!
And then there is
the final
cat and mouse chase. It's dialogue. Like Ryan O'Neal doesn't have a lot of dialogue, but he carries this movie with a performance that's all done with his face. And his reactions to everybody else in the film, from Bruce Dern, the detective, and the way he's trying to get him to say something or do something, he's questioning him. He's like, "Oh, you're a real cowboy," well, what about this? What about that? He's like trying to bait him into getting him pissed off.
I remember everything.
Alone in your room.
Yeah.
You can do better than that.
I don't have to.
So far, they throws hot coffee in Ryan O'Neal's lap.
Yeah.
And he comes close. He comes close. Bruce Dern's like, come on. You know you want to.
Go ahead, throw it! It'll cost you 2 years.
I kind of love that about this, and that there's no extraneous bullshit. At no point in this film are they trying to cut Ryan O'Neal out to be some sort of good guy. No. He's barely even somebody that you can identify with because he's almost robotic in the fact that all he does is drive. He is not a robber. He's not going to get in on your heist. He's going to sit outside in the car, but when shit gets real and you're getting chased, he's going to get you the hell out of there. No. Jason Statham, you should write him a thank you note now. But
no, he's a consummate professional.
Yes.
Through everything, and if he doesn't like working with you, he won't work with you unless the price is right.
Yeah.
My price is double.
Come on, who do you think you're dealing with? That's 30% of the take.
That's right. Special price because I'm working with second raters.
Or unless he thinks there's something up.
Yeah,
and he'll just flat say, you're not going on the job. I'm not driving if you're going to be in the car too. And I love that about this. And again, the transporter just completely ripped that off. But the other thing that I really dug about this is, okay, Isabella Adjani is fucking gorgeous. I mean, she's just insanely good looking. I know you've had issues with her hat, but it works for me, and I'm good with that. I can fess up to that.
It's
one.
a nitpick. It's not a deal breaker.
But rather than them getting bogged down with some bullshit romance, some like shoehorned in story about this, like, look, here's the deal. Here's what you're going to get out of it. Here's what I'm going to get out of it, and then we'll go our separate ways. And again, I admire this film for not getting this big, romantic entanglement, or Ryan O'Neal has to decide that love is more important than the job or money, that he's gonna straighten out and fly right because Isabella Adjani is just so gorgeous that he's gonna give up the life for her. No, not this movie. And I love that about this.
Yeah. Also, too, everybody else in this movie, as far as the criminals, are professionals except for the grocery heist guys.
The idiots that decide to shoot up a grocery. They robbed the grocery store. Okay, that's not good enough. We need to shoot up the sales signs and break the glass. For what? For the thrill of it? For just to let the world know that, they were the guys that robbed the grocery store?
But Isabella Adjani, her character is a total professional, like you said. There's nothing personal involved in it.
You're going to ask me why I did it? I have a friend that pays the rent, lives out of town, visits me once or twice a month. Lately, the checks haven't been so regular.
The connection, the lady that sets up all the, literally the connections and puts everybody together, who's also the mom from Nightmare on Elm Street 1.
That's okay. I knew I recognized her from somewhere. But
she's a professional too. She I don't get mixed up in everybody's personal affairs.
Keep your eye out for those other two. They'll know I have their money.
I told you, I'm not gonna get killed for you.
Ironically, she's the one that breaks with the professional code of ethics, if you will.
Well, the gun's in her fucking mouth.
Well,
so.
I was going to say, at no point do I think...
extenuating circumstances there.
I understand that. I do. I get that completely. But I'm going to say, if you were to take that situation and have somebody putting a gun in Ryan O'Neal's mouth, I don't see him breaking his code.
Go ahead and pull the trigger.
And I don't see Isabella Adjani breaking her code. She broke her code and she winds up dead because of it.
The money's in a locker at the train station. I told him I wouldn't get killed for him.
Sure.
And I really do think that that's kind of like an illustration of, your professionalism, your code of conduct, your code of ethics that you hold personally, that will see you through all these shitty situations. It wasn't until she cracked. It wasn't until she gave others up. Yeah. Because really at that point, if she hadn't died, her career's over with, because everybody that she works with knows, under the wrong circumstances, she's going to give everybody up because she already gave everybody up.
I mean, you're not wrong, but at the same time, I can understand, not everybody has the same, fortitude that other people do. So,
and she reminded me of Heat, Angelina Jolie's dad.
John Voight.
John Voight. He was the connection in that one. He was the one that was putting De Niro and his crew together with, here's a guy and he knows how to get into this bank and, I'll set up the meet and you guys can figure out the details. So I see the reference in that. But the other thing that I'm also seeing, Michael Mann's Thief with James Caan, the way that they portrayed the character, in that he's not like this rough and rugged, tough guy. He's good looking, he's dapper, he dresses well, he does all this. And I'm thinking, that's James Caan in Thief. Michael Mann was all like, oh, I'm stealing that shit. Because that's literally how James Caan comes off. He has this cover for where does all of his money come from, but at the end of the day, he's a thief. He's a damn good thief. He's got a code of ethics that he sticks to, and he doesn't let anybody else know what he's doing, even the people that he's closest with. And I'm kind of glad that Walter Hill spared us all of that, just so that we could focus on what this movie was supposed to be about, the driver. So it's kind of brilliant, and I can see that this movie, A, did not deserve the savaging on some of the reviews that it got.
No.
And B, this was a movie that suffered from being 15 years ahead of its time. You know, it was the first to do a film like this, and the audience wasn't ready for it. And not only the audience, reviewers weren't ready for it. And that's really kind of what crippled this movie. Now, I said that it didn't do well here in the U.S., which at the time, in the mid-'70s, U.S. box office was like the only thing that really mattered to the studios.
Yeah.
But it did do incredibly well in France. And why? Because New Age cinema was already a thing over there, and having a character that barely spoke and that you show the story, you don't tell the story, that was already a thing. And then the other country that it did really well in was Japan. And again, show, don't tell.
Yeah.
Toshiro Mifune made an entire career out of wordlessly staring people like a badass and scaring the shit out of them.
If you do anything else, I'll come back, I'll kill you.
But I'm going to say this. I think the true star of this movie is Bruce Dern.
The best part of our job is, it's just a game. It's either them or us.
Bruce Dern really drives this whole story and whole plot and really puts everything in motion. Because without Bruce Dern, you know, there's no hiring the schlubs to get in contact with Ryan O'Neal, to do the bank, and to get this whole thing in motion. And I love how you kind of got this general theme of gambling with people's lives.
Oh, I'm much better at this game than you are. You play against me, pal, you're gonna lose. You win, you make some money. I win, you're gonna do 15 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they're all professionals. Their job's the most important thing to them. Every character in this one.
Yeah.
And Bruce Dern kind of, he's willing to go past what he ought to be doing to try and get this, because his job at the end of the day is to get criminals off the street. And this one's obviously bad. How bad is he? He's never been caught.
Setting up bank jobs, I don't remember that being part of taking the oath.
We're getting the money back, jerk-off. And we're catching somebody that's never been caught.
And so for him, it's a point of pride that he's going after the basically the great white whale, the one villain that never seems to be held accountable.
It's not even about pride. It's past pride. He's really kind of going for the fame. It's how it comes across to me. He wants to be like this great detective, and how he's going to springboard his career is by like putting all the chips. I mean, he is all in on this.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's why I feel. Why I say gambling is like a big theme in this, because it starts off in the casino, but then he's gambling his career, his partner's careers.
Yeah.
Listen, I got a wife, I got a kid, and I got 12 years service toward a pension. Now, if you think I'm going to let you blow that for me, you're crazy.
Other people's lives. I mean, he goes as far as like, hey, I want to have you set it up to rob this bank, and you're going to get away with it scot-free. I'm not even going to prosecute you if you get caught or what have you, as long as I get the driver.
Well, that's a choice. Do 10 years wearing a number, or trust me and walk away free.
So he's like all in.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. See, I don't know that he's necessarily doing it for the fame. I think your takeaway on this is absolutely dead on the money. I don't think it has to do with fame. I think it has to do with his own sense of self, that he wants to see himself as the best detective in New York City.
And that's what I mean. He wants to be like the greatest.
He doesn't care if anybody else knows it, but he wants to know that he got the other bad guy that not only did nobody else ever get him, nobody else even knew that he existed. And Bruce Dern keyed in on the fact that A, he does exist, and B, this guy is catchable, that he doesn't think that there's any such thing as the uncatchable convict. He didn't go after a mob boss. He didn't go after this big bad. He went after the guys that hire. You know, he's going after the most professional of the criminals that he can think of, is really what it boils down to. My favorite segment in this film is the fallout of, like, when they shoot up the grocery store and that robbery gets botched and they get caught. And when Bruce Dern is having that conversation with them about, you know, here's how you're going to set it up. The setup for that is spectacularly good. And all those characters are convincing. And basically you have the one guy the one with the glasses, and he's the smartest of it. So obviously he's the leader. So that's the one that Bruce Dern is going to be dealing with. And the other one is muscle, and the other one is dumb and ego, and that's all it is. And so when you have that presentation to Ryan O'Neal about how they want to, you know, bring him in and have him drive, well, what about him? He's a driver too. Why not him? He's driving the other car. It's a smart setup.
I don't think he said he was driving the other car. I think he just said he wasn't good enough.
You already have a driver.
You don't have the balls for driving anymore.
But he clearly pointed out to the other guy that wasn't the driver, is like, that guy, no.
Yeah.
I don't work with people like you. Or him.
No.
He just pegged him right off the bat, like, you're a loose fucking cannon, you're just no.
Yes. Well, not only did he peg him right off the bat, but the other thing that I loved about this was that they were trying to play Bruce Dern to boot, because they were supposed to go through the robbery, and when they showed up where they were going to distribute the money that they got, that's when they were going to show up and arrest the driver and you know, cut the other guys loose.
I never thought I'd be standing around waiting for this cowboy to make it.
Well, you are. And he will.
And it turns out that no, it was a double cross. There was a different location that they went to, and everything, all the fallout from that.
You've been set up, you know.
By a cop.
He's waiting for you right now at the wrong place. Me and my friend don't want to show up. A guy with your attitude never carries a gun. That's stupid.
I was like, okay, I did not see that one coming. It was expertly, you know, portrayed on film. And it's kind of great that Bruce Dern kind of puts it together instantly. It's like, this is not the meetup spot.
It's tough doing business with lowlifes. They're unreliable. But we got a few moves left.
I just, the way that unfolded, the way that it was done visually, I really appreciate it for what it was. I did not see that twist coming.
Do we spoil the end?
I don't know. It's your pick, so you decided that you want to spoil the end.
Spoil the ending right here. You're warned. So that end was so well done. So they set it up to where they're going to do the money exchange at the train station. Isabella gets the key, does the handoff with the bag man that's going to, you know, give the
He's going to give him clean money for the dirty money.
Yeah, for the dirty money. And the punk loose cannon from the grocery robber guys steals the purse.
Yeah.
And
with
that's
the
how
key
the
in
whole
it, yeah.
with the key in it. And that's how the whole cat and mouse chase scene goes down.
There.
All right, we got trouble.
That cat mouse chase scene in the warehouse is so fucking well done.
It really is.
I don't think I've seen anything like that since.
I can't think of anything.
Where there's like little cat mouse with cars. It's crazy.
I've seen some stuff in Japanese cinema that's kind of reminiscent of it, but not to this degree and not quite this tense. There was one thing that I laughed about during that, and this is me nitpicking, but like legitimately, all those cars from back in the 70s, when they idled, it was chung 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 chung, and there was no sound in the warehouse, and I thought, neither of those vehicles would sound like that. You would hear chung 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 just echoing all the way through the garage, which I think they kind of should have put that in, just for the simple fact that it's so ominous sounding. You know, two vehicles idling with that chunky exhaust sound. Because, you know, when you floor it and the tires aren't grabbing and it's spinning on concrete, there's an announcement. It's kind of like a scream. Yeah. And I think that kind of audio, from an audio standpoint, would have like really punched up that scene a little bit. But for a tension standpoint, I understand why they got rid of it, because silence is much more tense than having a repeating sound.
Yeah. But then they go through all that shit. Bruce Stern hops on the train to go after the bag man and ends up shooting his ass, and he falls out of the train. And they go through all that shit just to, at the end, because, you know, Ryan O'Neal wants to see it through to the very bitter end, goes in there, goes to the locker, opens up. Bruce Stern's like, ha.
Gotcha.
And they open up the bag, and there's fucking nothing in it. So the bag man is the final double cross.
I was going to say, did the bagman double cross them, or was the money swished out? Or, because Ryan O'Neal's character is smart, really smart, and I could almost see him planting an identical bag in the train station that's dead empty, that he goes there for first, and it's a decoy. You know, he grabs that when he's like, there's nothing in here, haha, and then going back 2-3 days later and grabbing the actual bag with money in it. I could see that being the case.
That's a great film theory, but as it's presented...
As it's presented, it's just empty. No, you're absolutely right.
Looks like we both got swindled.
Looks like we both got ripped off by the exchange man.
I would have loved that after the credit scene of just Isabella Johnny opening up the locker and pulling out a black satchel and looking inside. That's all it would have taken. It would have made my heart flutter, but we didn't get that. But in my head, that's how I secretly wished it would have ended. But the ending was super satisfying as it is.
Because I love the ending, because nobody wins. Because there's no good guys. There's no real bad guys in this. Everybody here is a piece of shit. And at the end, nobody gets away with anything. No money's exchanged, nothing. Everybody leaves as they started the movie.
The guy with the glasses, he got shot. The second guy got shot too. He got shot coming out of the bank. And then the loose cannon. So really the only one that walked away a winner was the second guy that was the driver in that guy's car, the loose cannon's car.
No, because he got shot during the robbery.
No.
Yes,
the young kid with the poofy hair that was driving the blue car at the very end.
That guy,
He's the only guy. And that was professional courtesy. He got out of the car, he climbed out, and he's like,
I just did the driving.
Go home.
Ryan O'Neal's like, go. And man, he tears ass out of that warehouse. He knows better than to stick around. And I again, completely satisfying, completely believable. There's almost that like, I know exactly where you're coming from, kid.
Yeah.
That's how I got my start way back in the day. So I really appreciate the layers that this film has. But again, it's not done in a talky, in the mid-70s especially, there's a lot of really talky-ass movies, like The French Connection, and I know it's hailed as a cinematic masterpiece, and it is, but it's a very talky film.
Yes.
And there's a lot of very talky films, which is why Clint Eastwood's whole, like, you know, Pale Rider and blah, blah, they're so refreshing, because finally we had a hero that knew when to shut the fuck up. And Ryan O'Neal deserved to be lauded for this role, not punished for it. And I love the fact that he played against type, that he wasn't charming, that he was a handsome guy and he was well dressed and all this, but he doesn't feel the need to do this big character exploration. Not every movie needs a ton of character exploration, and this is the perfect example of that, because that's not what this movie set out to tell. You know, that's not the story that they wanted to do. So I dug the hell out of this movie, and I'm gonna flat say this. I'm glad you picked this movie. I'm glad that I was like, oh, let's see what the hell this is, because I would not have picked this film on my own. So I have notes. I have some great notes. You're going to love these notes.
Okay.
You can always tell my enthusiasm for a film by how deeply I research it after I've watched it. So just a heads up on that. But yeah, written and directed by Walter Hill. Budget of $4 million. It's box office $4.9 million. So disappointing to say the least.
It's par for the course for this channel.
Yeah, we it's par for the course for all the films that are really legendary from the 70s. It's amazing how many of them bombed in the box office. But here we are, 30, 40 years later, or 40, 50 years later, because we're fucking old. But it's amazing to me how many of them are now considered legendary.
Yeah.
So remember that when you're picking films on Hulu or this or that, it's not doing great at the box office. Box office does not mean shit. It has nothing to do with the quality of a film, and that's what we're really here to prove to you all.
or critical scores, for that matter.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And we'll get to that. I got notes on that. So this is Walter Hill's second film after Hard Times, which had Charles Bronson in it. And we talked about this a little bit, that this script was originally offered to both Clint Eastwood and to Charles Bronson. Charles Bronson was not happy with how the edit of Hard Times portrayed his wife Jill Ireland's character, and it was because of that he turned the role down. So
shame on you, man. You missed out, buddy.
Yes, but and yet weirdly, if this had Charles Bronson in it, people would have accepted the strong silent type as just, that's just the kind of character that Charles Bronson played. And I'm sure that the critic scores probably would have been much more positive in that regard.
I agree 100%, yeah.
So,
sure.
But yeah, Walter Hill wanted to make a pure genre film. He wrote this in a summer over 1975. He intended it for Steve McQueen. Steve McQueen read the script and turned it down. He said it was not his bag. Again, strong silent type, but bullet.
Shame on you, buddy.
So, but Julie Christie and Charlotte Rampling were both considered for the female lead.
Julie Christie. The name sounds familiar, but I can't picture.
You'll throw her picture right up here, because the minute you see her, you'll be like, I know exactly who that is. Charlotte Rampling, you're going to remember from Zardoz.
Thank you.
So
I recognize the name right off the bat.
So Isabella Adjani agreed to be in this because she really liked Hard Times. She was not like, oh, I love this script or anything like that, but she's like, it's Walter Hill, and I really like that movie. So somebody admired Jill Ireland's portrayal in Hard Times. It just wasn't Charles Bronson. Robert Mitchum was asked to play Bruce Dern's role in this, and he turned it down.
Now that would have been interesting.
Yeah, and
Robert Mitchum is a fantastic actor,
and you can almost see the dialogue choices and the way this you can picture him in this role. Totally written for him. But
but I'm glad we got Bruce Dern.
Yeah, he kind of has that just a little bit off thing going on, and it plays so well with this character.
I guess you figure you're a winner.
That's it, and you're a loser. But I think you'd like to be a winner.
But when the film came out, they handed Walter Hill a thick stack of reviews. The stack was so thick that Walter Hill said that if you'd shot the stack with a .45, it was thick enough to stop the bullet. When they handed him this stack of reviews, only one of them was positive. And I was like, that right there, that's all you need to know about tomato scores, okay? Isabella Adjani said that this film, because of the negative critical reception of it, she had been in a movie called Adele H, and it had done really well, and the critics received it really well, and this was her first big Hollywood film that she had done, and this film, because of its negative reception, roles in Hollywood dried up for her. So she said that the only scripts that she was offered in Hollywood were bad ones. Like, legit. And that's late 70s, early 80s. You can only imagine the shit that was coming across her desk. So she wound up going to Europe, and that's how we wound up with all of the films that she did over there, including Possession. Walter Hill said that if he hadn't already been in the middle of shooting The Warriors, that this probably would have been the end of his career. That's how well received this film was. But, funny story, Isabella Adjani has gone on to win 5 Caesar Awards, a Lumiere Award, and she's been nominated for 2 Academy Awards. So that just goes to show you what people offering scripts and to who know about all that kind of thing. In 1996, Luc Besson was developing a remake of this. I can't help but feel that some of this bled into The Fifth Element, but it didn't happen. But when you take a look at like The Professional and you know those kind of action films that Luc Besson was making at the time, it kind of like completely tracks.
Yes, and I kind of wish we would have had that actually. Normally I wouldn't say that, but that's the right director for this type of movie, for sure.
You're not wrong at all. But yeah,
is he still alive?
Luc Besson, yeah.
Make that shit happen.
I'm on a streak. I'm gonna play it out. I'm gonna get it tonight.
I know all about streaks. Every player says this time is different.
All that being said, the influence of this film, you see it all over modern cinema. Drive with Ryan Gosling is literally this movie.
Except for nowhere near as good.
So you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
That movie was boring as shit. I mean, it really was.
I enjoy Drive.
and plus it had the love story.
Yeah, it did have the love story.
Which it didn't need the love story, because that really drug that movie down. I think it's mostly about the love story, you know, him kind of trying to get involved but not trying to get involved with the girl down the fucking hall.
I get it.
You know, I mean...
But there's like so many movies that like owe their existence to this. We already talked about Thief. We already talked about Heat. We already talked about Drive, and then
you got Baby Driver.
Yeah.
You know.
So yeah, anytime that there's just that one guy that all they care about is driving and fill in the blank. 80s music, stunt driving, silver jackets with big scorpions. It's literally, it's just a repackaged version of this film. Now, I'm not going to say that everything Walter Hill has ever done is a hit, but it always has artistic merit. And we talked about this a little bit.
Well, I mean, again, Hard Times is great. This is great. Warriors is a fantastic movie. 48 Hours is a fantastic movie. Really, it wasn't until Streets of Fire they struck out, and he struck out hard.
Yeah. I was going to say, when he hits well.
Yeah.
When he misses, he misses by a fucking mile.
Yeah.
Because Streets of Fire has elements that should be a good movie. It's got a great cast. Diane Lane is gorgeous, and they had Michael Pere and
William Dafoe.
William Dafoe, thank you. It's the big bad.
Great bad guy.
And
it's just too hyper stylized.
I don't have a problem with the hyper stylized. The visuals, I think, actually make it what it is. But when you pitch a movie and it's a rock and roll fan, or was it a rock and roll fairy tale?
Yeah, something
one
like
of those words should not be in that sentence. And I'm just going to say that they could have done everything with that film. But the fact that they were trying to do this like cheesy, 80s hero's journey sort of thing is really what's great. It should have been more Rumblefish or The Outsiders, and they could have kept the visuals, but made it a bit grittier and a bit more grounded as far as the humans and the characters.
Yeah,
Michael Pere running around being the hero, and everything he does has to be heroic, and he's got to show his jaw at the right angle. And
but we're not talking about that movie.
No, we're not. But
we're talking about this.
That was too many ingredients in the chili on that one.
Absolutely. But this is stripped down. This is meat and potatoes. This is all killer, no fucking filler. I mean, this is a badass fucking movie. Watch it.
No,
absolutely
don't watch
recommend.
It. Buy it.
Yes.
Buy it on Blu-ray. If there's a 4K release, I don't know if there is, buy that one. This movie should be in your collection. The more you watch it, the more you're going to appreciate it. I watched it initially, and then when I was putting my notes together, I went back and watched portions of it a second time, and it's one of those things that the more you watch it, the more nuance and the subtle details are going to pop for you, and you're going to get a lot more out of it. It's far better than it has. The fact that it's this unknown, it just boggles my mind.
And it's an easy watch too. It's super easy. Everything's easy to follow. There's nothing here that's crazy or complicated. It's just a great movie.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And it's an interesting juxtaposition to my pick for this month, but It's absolute recommend by all means. I again thank you for introducing me to this. It would not have been a film that I would have picked out, but I'm so thrilled that I watched it, and I will most definitely watch it again, and I will most definitely be adding it to my collection.
All right.
So,
Well, I think that's all we got.
We will catch you next time.